As we just shared, we just came back from ski trip, right? Whenever we have a church event, there's almost always something come up. That's my experience. Since I was a freshman in college, I was a Sunday school teacher, and Sunday school teacher, we plan a lot of things for children. Children Sunday afternoon, the picnic, or the children's, the field trip, or we have a VBS. Every year we had some church event, right? There's always something come up, like when you planned children, the picnic, the rain report, the weather report said there's a heavy rain. Then all in the morning, teachers gather and people share idea. They said we should cancel the event because of heavy rain, right? It's almost always whenever I have a big event at church during last 25 years, way before I become a pastor, as I said, and when I was a freshman in college, when I was just Sunday school teacher, whenever we plan something for church retreat, picnic or whatever, I almost like 90% boys that we should cancel this event this time because this thing happened. So after 25 years, I learned something. I learned something that I don't cancel it. That's usually my policy. 90% or 99%, I don't cancel unless it's really necessary. It happened again, Friday, we gathered, and then people show me the map. Hey, look at the Google map. There's like an accident in Bay Area, like a 20 accident here and there. Heavy rain, and some people said, maybe we should postpone to the next week. And then especially weather report said, rain for 3 days. What are you gonna do when you go to ski trip if it rains? Not snow, rain. Right? So people said we spend a lot of money, and this is in one year ski trip, but Saturday, if the whole day rains, because the weather report said it's rain, what are you going to do? So there was a suggestion, and I felt one more time, it's supposed to go that way. It's supposed to go that way. So I don't think it's not from faith, but from my experience. The experience of 25 years of church activity. We just decided we'll go. And then, it was a heavy traffic. And when I said we'll go, it didn't mean that God will protect us for every matter, everything will be good. No, I didn't mean it. Sometimes it didn't go that way. But after event, to have again and again, what I felt was always, there was a reason. There was a reason why we had to go those things. And whenever I canceled, as a Sunday school teacher or pastor, okay, this is too much, let's not do it. Whenever I cancel that, I always regret that. I always regret, and then when we reschedule, it never happened. So we always thought we should have done it. We should have stick to the plan. Because if we change the plan, usually because we're afraid. We're afraid for failure. We're afraid of failure or some unexpected thing happen. But Jesus, when Jesus and disciples, they were, traveling through the, navigating through the sea, there was a storm, and Jesus was sleeping. And disciples woke him up. Teacher, there's a storm. What are you going to do? So there was a storm. It doesn't mean that you are in the same boat with Jesus Christ, everything go well. It's not like that. Whether you are with Jesus or not, still there's a storm. But disciples, instead of trusting Jesus who was with them, just they woke him up saying, teacher, save us. And you know what Jesus said? Why were you afraid? Why were you afraid? What are you afraid of? Right? So I think it's the same thing in our life. Not just church event, something always supposed to come up whenever you plan something big. But when things happen, whether you focus on things happen right now, or whether you focus on God who's with you. So if you can focus on God, then you can go through it. Right? And I hope that whenever those things happen, and then because of you make the right decision whenever those things happen, helps you grow. All those moments, the 25 years, as I said, since I was a freshman Sunday school teacher, God taught me one by one through all the event. Sometimes I made the wrong decision. Sometimes I made the right decision. But through all those moments, I learned that now I see kinds of feeling God's work happen through those things. Do church leaders have the same kinds of feeling in our church? You're the church leaders, you're the church members. When something happened during the church event, during the retreat, somebody sometimes injured, or some weather, or something happened, As a church leader, I hope that you have that sense. I know something going on, but we planned it that way, right? And I remember that when you planned this ski trip, I remember that church leaders gather, we decided a day, right? How about the last weekend of January? How about third weekend of February? And through a lot of conversation we made that day. How did we know that day? We didn't have any rain in January, right? And how did we know that day we would have that much heavy rain? But I remember the moment we sit down, we talk about what's the God's will, what's the perfect day we can prepare this plan, and still I don't know why we had to decide this day, but I believe there was a reason. Maybe to some kids, to some family, they couldn't make only this trip, and they were maybe very important. So I don't know the God's plan, but always there's a reason when you focus on God, and when you go through difficulty, there will be something happen. Okay? So I hope that, through this event again, that we grow, we learn about God's will in our life. During the last week, I went to the soccer again. Last week I went to the soccer. And, 2 times a week I try to play in soccer. And there was an accident during my soccer play. So there was one man and who was, try to receive a ball, but the other man jumped, and by accident, he hit, the other person with his elbow. So the person was injured. Kind of was a big injury. And he, fell. And everybody worried about him. After 30 seconds, he woke up. He was so angry for the person who hit him, and he started cursing him like this: "If I was broken, I would break you." That's a very strong word, right? But maybe that man felt something broken in his body, so he could not move. But he woke up and he said, "If I was broken, I will break you." And everybody said, "Oh, calm down. That was an accident. He didn't mean it." But he was so angry. When I heard what he said, that's a kind of a natural response, right? All human, if you see children, we have the response, retribution. If you do something wrong to me, I will do something wrong to you. If you do something good for me, I will do something good for you, right? Even though after, the 10 Commandments in Exodus chapter 20, Exodus chapter 21, verse 10 to, Exodus chapter 21, and verse 23 and 25. Even the God gave this word through the Moses, and God said, eye for eye, the tooth for tooth, and the ear for ear, and life for life. You heard that word, right? Exodus chapter 21. This is not just what people say, but God gave this law to people. But if there's a serious injury, you are to take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot, bone for bone, wound for wound, bruise to bruise. Very strong word. But it just to show the human nature, right? If you do something wrong to me, I will do something wrong to you too. And at that time, we shared why God gave this kinds of rule. You heard that, right? There were people who had a power. And then people, in there with the power, they just, they did the wrong thing to the other people who didn't have a power. So like, masters, they just, harm their servant. And they just took their eye. And then they said, I'm powerful master, I'm okay. There was a generation like that. So to those powerful people, God gave this rule, whether you have a power or not, if you take somebody's eye, then your eye will be taken too. So there will be justice. There will be fairness in this world. I will rule this world. So I give this law to you that you should not oppress other people. In the same way, if a weak person, maybe your servant, by mistake, if we gave harm to you and then your eye was injured, then you should not do more than that. You should not kill him because of that small injury, only that amount. So still retribution is not bad, but at the generation when people use their power to do wrong things to others, God gave this rule. And generation after, if you see book of Matthew chapter 5, Jesus gave a different rule, right? Now that you have a law reinforcement and people, according to the law, if you do something wrong to other people, policeman or judge, they will, punish you. But for you love other people. So Jesus tried to change our human nature. Not just retribution. Retribution is for only the social justice, but among you, between your friends. If you can love, go more than that. Go more than human nature and human retribution. Right? When you prepare this ski trip, actually there was a lot of argument. Whom shall we invite? And not just ski trip, the church provide a lot of, the service, right? We have a free dental service. Jennifer, Gina, and Stephen, they really work hard to give this good, benefit to the church friends and the church members. And sometimes retreat. And sometimes this ski trip. Church, they invest a lot of money to invite the people and give a benefit for the other people. And when you raise this much fund to prepare this kinds of event, there's always some voice, we should not invite that person. Wow, that person never showed up church, but only when you come to the ski trip, that person come up. And then next year, didn't come up again. That person only come for the ski trip because we provide a ski trip. They don't deserve it. Somebody really say that, right? Not just for the ski, dental service or other good church program. Somebody said that member only come for the Halloween. That member only come for the Christmas. When church gives something good to them, they only show up to receive good things. Sometimes people complain that way. And we understand why they complain it. And sometimes we try to make the ministry effective. This time we want to invite these people because these people have a more possibility to come church. So through the church event, let's make more church members. Let's invite the people who have a more possibility to come church. So our, the focus is a kind of retribution. If they didn't do good well before, then we don't have to invite them. If they didn't show their loyalty to church, we don't have to give a good thing to them. That's a retribution, right? And also we think about efficiency. Those people better to invite, or if we bring these people, there's more possibility for ministry growth. So we think about efficiency, church's growth, ministry success, and sometimes even unintentionally we apply the rule of retribution when you plan something. But let me share this, what I learned during the church ministry. The goal of a church ministry is not success of ministry. The goal of a church ministry or church activity is not to make church grow. I hope we are all same page. It's not make the church successful. It's not make more people come. The goal of a church ministry is not church's growth. What is the goal of a church ministry? All church ministry, church activity, what is the goal? We want to learn about God. During the event, we want to learn about God and we want to feel God's heart. That is the goal of a church ministry. Sometimes we can plan something effectively, all the wise people gather. And they talk about, if we plan that day, inviting those people, spending this much money, church ministry will be successful. Maybe we can plan that way. But what did we learn about God by planning that way? I want to share with you the Romans chapter 3, verse 19 and 20. If you have a Bible, open the passages. Romans chapter 3, verse 19 to 21. So Jesus explained about law. We already shared about law, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. That's the retribution rule. That's the rule that running through this world. But Romans chapter 3, verse 19, Jesus said like this. Now we know that whatever the law says, it says to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be silenced and the whole world held accountable to God. Therefore, no one will be declared righteous in his sight by observing the law. Rather, through the law, we become conscious of sin. So retribution theory, all the laws, what Jesus said, you are under the law. And you know the retribution. You hurt God. You hurt God's feeling. So according to retribution theory, retribution rule, that God will hurt you too. Because God was hurt. God will hurt you bad. That's our nature. But if you are under the law, what you can receive is really small, or you will get punished because what we did all was wrong to God. That's the law. But that is not the way or world that I want to share with you. Right? Romans chapter 5:8. This is one of the most important passages in the Bible, the core message of Jesus' ministry. Romans chapter 5:8, it says like this. But God demonstrates His own life for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. If we can learn this thing through the church ministry, we did the church ministry very well. So we felt that those people, they don't deserve to receive this good service. They not deserve to be invited for this kinds of event. Church plans something good, but they are not the people that we are targeting. Whenever we want to think that way, we can think like this. Then are we the right people who can be invited in God's table? Who are deserve to receive God's salvation? Scripture is very clear, say, while we were still sinners, everybody, we didn't deserve to receive God's love. But while we were still sinners, Christ died for us, and God showed God's love to us. So when you do church ministry, there's some ungrateful person, and that person really make you frustrated, and then because of that person, you don't want to do ministry. That is a time you can learn about God. Maybe I'm like him. I'm like her. I don't deserve anything for this good gift that God gave to me, but God gave me. God loved me that way. So we practice the same thing. Maybe the ministry will not be that much effective by doing that way. But during the ministry, if we practice what God did to us, if we understand God's heart, that's the right way to the ministry. In today's passage we shared many times that John chapter 15 about the roaster, the sheep, right? But it was not effective ministry of a shepherd. The shepherd had 100 sheep, and then 99 of them just they stayed there. They were okay, but one sheep just ran away. It was that one sheep is caused trouble always. So what's the effective way? What's the right way? According to retribution, you one sheep who caused trouble again and again, you deserve a punishment. You lost, and then you caused your own trouble, you are in danger, that's you earned it. You deserved it. You made it. So go away. I cannot go for you because of your own safety, but we have this many sheep, that 99 sheep, and God wanted to protect them first, and then we cannot protect you. If we say like that, maybe the shepherd's ministry might be effective, but that's not what Jesus shared about his ministry. Those people who don't deserve, maybe the ministry is not effective, but Jesus still want to go for that one sheep. That is Jesus' ministry. We can think about this parable like this. Maybe there was one sheep who caused trouble, and then who was lost, and then the shepherd, putting the 99 sheep in the open field in danger, just try to go to find this one sheep, right? Maybe some of the 99 sheep got trouble because of shepherd left for this one sheep. But we can imagine like this, that one sheep repented in the future because the one sheep found, shepherd came to me to save me even if I caused trouble. So that one sheep became pastor. Who knows? Among the shepherd. So that one sheep took care of 999 sheep in the future. Is that effective ministry? Or there was 99 sheep who were okay, but 99 sheep felt one day, shepherd, if we have one of our friends lost, go astray, then we now know the shepherd, just our Lord, just go to take care of that sheep. So we should not lose anymore. If the 98th sheep also were lost, our shepherd will leave us again in this open age, will be danger again. So we should not lose any of them among us. We should take care of each other. So these 99 sheep, now they become a good community to take care of each other. Who knows? Right? If you just hear this story, the shepherd left the 99 sheep in the open field and went for the one lost sheep, that's not effective. Honestly, it's not effective ministry in our own world. That's not even the right for the retribution. But Jesus always do ministry differently. And he tried to share this ministry with us and teach this ministry. You have your own desire, nature, retribution to good people deserve good things, bad people deserve bad things. And if somebody broke your heart, you don't want to treat good that person. Somebody is not grateful, you don't want to give a good thing to that person. There's a good people you want to treat good way. Good friends. I want to take care of that person more because that person show loyalty. That person show, all the good things. I want to be good to those good people. That's our nature. And then if we do that way, maybe ministry might be okay. But we cannot learn anything about God through that way. The people live out there, they live that way. But we want to learn this different thing. While we were still sinners, when we didn't deserve anything, Christ died for us. He showed God's love. And then during all our life, including ministry in your life and your relationship with your neighbors and friends, if you can feel that, or maybe this is time that I can feel God's heart more, I didn't deserve. God showed love, God showed God's love to me. I was saved. Through the people around you, if you can feel it, that is a ministry and that is what we want through all the church things. Let's pray. Thank you for this morning. That we have been to this heavy rain, through the heavy rain, we have been to this trip, Lord. There were difficulties. And whenever we plan something in church, we always think we're not going to do it again. There's too much stress. There's too much difficulties. People don't show the appreciation to us. And maybe that we're not sure even we are working for the right people. Whenever we think about retribution, whenever we think about reward and punishment, whenever we think about the justice and fairness and whether we deserve it or not, or whenever we think about efficiency or effectiveness, let us remember Jesus' heart. God didn't work that way. And Jesus wants to teach us differently the way we do ministry. Let us follow you, learn you, and let us feel your ministry during our ministry, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.